self-driving car because it was a collaboration between Mercedes and Bosch. So then I got into the team. So I just started self-driving car in Germany then. So I got into self-driving car, and that was how I started into AI. So I finished in Bosch, moved to Mercedes, did a bit in Mercedes, and then now started moving into like some other companies. But today we're talking about career change, and we're talking about AI and the rest of them. So, I've spoken in quite a number of conferences, but for us in the church and for us that want career change, let me start because I said I want to make it conversational. What is your greatest fear about AI? You? What's the greatest fear about AI?
Taking away all our jobs.
Any other one?
My greatest fear about AI is safety and security conversations.
Okay. Any other person? Too complicated. Okay.
We don't know what my fear is. We don't know what direction it's going to go. That's my
Hallucination.
I think one of my greatest fears is would we get to a point where AI becomes self-aware, where it can make decisions on its own without like proper.
Okay, so let me. So from everything everybody said, everybody's right. The fear is right. But let me explain a bit of how it goes. Okay. So let's go back to how this whole AI thing started. So AI started as machine learning. The AI we know today is called started as machine learning. And this was just generally linear regression, classification. And then we progressed from linear regression and classification, we moved into like what we call deep learning. So deep learning is more where you have the neural networks. And neural network means you have nodes, just like our brain works. So they try to simulate the way our brain works to computers. So, and everything that happens is very simple. You have some set of numbers. Everything you see in computer is just numbers. It's just 0 and 1. So if you take a picture, what you do in AI is AI takes that picture, convert it into 0 and 1. And that's how then they do a lot of data augmentation and the rest of them to give you a prediction. So we move from linear regression to deep learning, and then we move into what we call transformers. So when you hear LLMs are just transformers. So transformers is a type of neural network. And now what they did now is just to make these transformers bigger, and that's why most of the time you hear things like parameter 1 trillion and keeps increasing. So if you think about it like that, you understand why we have hallucination. Because if you have something that is statistics, in real life, nothing is 100% right. Nothing is 100%. Things change, like even in biology, everybody is different. Something can happen and one thing change. So if you think about it that way, you know that no matter how good, AI can never be 100% right. So when it comes to hallucination, it will never be 100%. And that's why if you check ChatGPT or you check Claude, they will tell you AI makes mistakes because it can never be 100% right. So we cannot solve that problem. You said taking our jobs. So yesterday I posted something on LinkedIn which is about AI taking jobs. So what they did is to sell AI. Okay, let me give another analogy. I like us to think together. Before now, have you imagined how people lived without Google Maps?
Yes.
Have you imagined how people lived without phones? So if you imagine how people live, so there's a different level of technology revolution. Imagine we don't have phones. Do you know what your phone is doing? A human being was doing it before. So let's go back and think about it. So we have touch a post. Before you need to write letters, somebody had that job that takes the letter from you, take it to this guy, some other. Now we have phones, you write text message. We still do letters, but if you had 1 million people before, now maybe they have 100. So our phones switch jobs. If you take it again to internet, when internet came, And a very good one is ATM, which nobody talks about. Before ATM, you need to go to the bank, write this thing, and collect money from the bank, and collect money from the cashier. What did ATM do? ATM took that guy's job, right? But didn't take all the jobs in the world. AI will take jobs. That is not an argument. That is not something we need to argue about. AI is going to take jobs. But AI is not going to take all jobs. It will create new jobs. I'm sure some of you know about labeling jobs. You know what? No? Labeling, AI labeling jobs. Anybody know? Yeah. So you use AI to they do label. So on AI to train the data, they need to label some data. So there are jobs people do now that is just to label those data. So that job was not there before, and now you have that job. So one thing is AI is going to take jobs, but it's going to also create some different other types of jobs. So that's the way to think about it. So now, if you think about it that way, the question would be, what job can I do that AI is not going to take? I don't have an answer to that, because the best thing an human can do is to be adaptive. When I started, I told you we were doing just linear regression classification. That was a good job. And then, everybody was talking about being a data scientist. Now nobody cares about if you're a data scientist, because now nobody's training data. OpenAI and the rest of them do training data. People just do the transfer learning and the rest of them. So the job of a data science has changed completely. So if you think about it that way, you know that, okay, AI is going to take jobs.
Sorry for breaking your flow. Just wanted to say that if you have a question that you'd like him to answer, probably in the panel, or if he has time now, just write it. I will have this paper here, just write it down.
I mean, you can also ask to find. So
yeah, you can also ask.
So if you think about it that way, what you should be focused on is, what can I do that AI will not be able to do in the next 5 years? So again, about my story, the reason why I got into AI is because every time I used to think, what am I doing now? So 3 things I like to do very, very often. So I like investment a lot, So I like a lot of investment, I do a lot of investment. I do technology, and I like sports, or gym, whatever. And these things, anytime I'm doing things, you go to the gym, you don't work out today and get results tomorrow. You work out today and get results in like 5 months. So the same thing, you think about career, you think about it like, what can I do now? Not the best job now, because the best job now is not going to be the best job tomorrow. What can I do now that will be good enough for me, that will be important in the future? So it mentioned security. When internet came, we didn't have anything called cybersecurity, because there was nothing to secure. But if internet come, then you need to secure it. If you brought phone, then there needs to be apps. So if in any new technology, there's going to be a follow-up. Every good thing has a bad thing. Every good thing has a bad thing. So any bad thing that is going to be attached to that something good, there needs to be a way to because you can't know. When Facebook and the whole social media came, there was nobody talking about attention span, there was nobody talking about teenage, whatever. But because that came, then there will be a need for something. So now people are trying to get to AI security, which is what I'm focused on now. But we also don't understand. 8 months ago, nobody was talking about AI agent. I'm sure these days everybody knows about AI agent, right? So these days everybody talks about AI agent. 1 year ago, nobody talked about AI agent. Now we talk about AI agent. And to secure AI agent is different from the way to secure LLMs. So that's about security. Then she talked about it's complex. I like to hear things like this. Why do you think it's complex?
Because sometimes when I try to get some information about AI, IT and stuff like that. It's like too much information, endless information to gather.
Okay. Everybody cannot be in tech. And everybody may not own a business. There are people that, you have people like Tim Cooks that never own a company and has more wealth than people that own a company. So everybody don't necessarily need to be in business. Everybody don't necessarily need to build AI. But just like your phone, regardless of what you do, you need a phone. And that is what AI is going to become. Regardless of what you do, you need AI. The question is, how do you use AI in what you do? You don't have to do it oppositely. You need to learn AI to do what you do, to be what you want. This is what I have. Content creator. What do you do?
I'm a student.
Like what do you study?
Business management.
Okay. So you do business management. And in business management there will be like reports, there will be so a lot of reports, there will be a lot of KPIs and things like that. So the question would be, what part of AI can I use to manage business? So maybe in your case, you can think of things like notebook LM. So there are different kinds of tools. So instead for you, your focus would be, what tools can I use, or what AI agents can I use that will help me be a better business manager. So, and that way you already have a knowledge of something which is not complex to you, and then you use AI to improve what you know. So don't do it the other way where you learn AI and then it's so complex that you don't know how to apply it to what you want. So pick what you have, apply AI on top of it, and then you can go what you want. So that's the best way to take it. So because being an AI engineer is not for everybody. It may take time. Again, anybody that wants to switch to that, you can also switch to it. Everything in life takes time. I used to say that if you want me to be a medical doctor, I can. It may just take me 10 years because I need to go into it and learn it. And what people say is some things are not for me or some things are for me. True, there are some things that is easier for each and every one of us to learn, and there are some other things that are more difficult. And that's why it's better for us to focus on our strengths, and then we can, quote and unquote, outsource what we are not good at. So, in that way, this is the best way to think about AI. I said I like more conversational because I don't want to go into things that are not very relevant to everybody. So that's why I want more questions, more conversation. Yeah, you have a question.
Okay, so you said something about AI getting jobs that AI will not take.
Yes.
Right, because you also mentioned something about the jobs that AI will create. So I'm like trying to get the contradiction, the balance there. So AI is here now, so we have some jobs like prompt engineering,
Yes.
AI engineering are already there. So what happens when, because I think AI is evolving. AI, Claude last year, is way from Claude this year. Claude in January, is way from Claude in June.
Yeah.
So the improvement is rapid. So I know that even those AI engineering jobs and prompt engineering will not even be required any longer.
True.
Right. So how do you just stick to just go on jobs that AI will not take at all? Maybe start a business, start a relationship and stuff like that. Or you just keep catching up, or just when something else comes, just like you said about cybersecurity now coming after internet comes. So it is creating more. So do we just keep catching up and keep evolving to get, or just get out of this AI world? Start anything.
No, so I'm not sure most of us may know this guy, Steve Ballmer, is the CEO, director of the CEO. Yeah, Barrett, the director of the CEO. Interviewed a lot of people every time about this AI thing. It's difficult for even people that really don't know capability of what it can do. And the problem we have is because the rate at which it changed, it makes it much difficult for us to catch up very often. The jobs is going to take it's going to take quite a number of jobs, which is true. The jobs it's not going to take will be, so every job will still remain, just like because the ATM came, it took away the cashier jobs, some cashier jobs, but we still have some. It changed the way cashier works. AI will change the way, we'll still have doctors, we'll still have people doing events, we'll still have even lawyers, we'll still have whatever. The only thing it's going to do is to change the way they work. So the replacement it's doing is not replacing the career or the person itself, it's replacing the way they work. So that's why when she spoke that, okay, she's a business management, it's not going to replace a business manager completely. It's going to replace the way an average business manager works. So that means the business manager must continue to see how he or she can be improving him or herself to be better or work with it. So AI is supposed to be an assistant, not a replacement. So it cannot replace everything. It will only change the way they work, and because it changed the way they work, everybody that worked the old way will be replaced. So this is how it replaces. It replaces the people that work the old way, not replacing the people that are not evolving, people that are not adapting, not replacing the job itself. So if you have this perspective about it, it gives you a better way on how you approach it. Because there's a lot of fear, especially in Europe. There's a big fear. If I go to conferences, every time it's AI is going to take our job, AI with this, AI that, AI. They don't even want to see it. And I don't want us, especially as Christians too, I don't want us to be, we don't want to adapt to things. Because the truth is, we are in Europe, and I say it in conference, Europe don't like adaptation. We all know that. Germans don't like to change. And because they don't like to change, is why things are getting to where it is now, which the government is already talking about. For instance, there's no mobile phone production in the whole of Europe. There is no internet like cloud service like AWS, Azure, Google in the whole of Europe. They have some. They are talking about it now. But the problem was because when these things were coming, they were like, no, we don't want it. How can I put all my data in somebody's cloud and somebody's going to take it and whatever? And I don't want us to have this mentality. This is why I'm talking about this, that always think about it in a way that this thing is going to be here. There's no argument. How can I take this thing and adapt it to what I know? So that's the only way. So you can only, it's not going to replace this, not going to replace everybody. It's going to replace a lot of people that are not adapting to it. So that's the answer to. Did I explain it well? I see you're still confused, man. Yeah, you're good now. Any more questions?
How do we? I want to say something.
Yeah.
How do we help ourselves mentally, in the sense that expectations has changed?
Yes, true.
And it's not everybody. For example, what I do software engineering, expectations has changed. Well, and what I'm expected to do within 1 week. No, what I'm expected to do within 3 months now. I'm expected to do it now within 1 month. There's pressure, there's this mental, I can't lie, there are some people, if we're being honest and if we interview like almost everyone, there are about 50% of the guys that want to quit in a way. How do you manage that self-mentally? How are you managing self-mentally? That's what I'm
So I divide my life into two. Spiritual and physical. So first, divide my life into two. I mean, maybe we are discussing, so maybe you guys have more idea I can learn from you. I divide life into two, spiritual and physical. Spiritual is only one component, God. Physical is 5 components. And 5 components is family and friends, fitness and health, finance and investment, career, and the last one is fun and social life, right? And what you're talking about is career. Now, for career, the expectation, so if you have this rest of them, that's the way to kind of make, because if you don't have any fun in life, I don't know what you like for fun, but if you don't have any fun in life, it can affect the rest of them. Because we need to, I don't know if there's any other thing I need to add, or if you have some ideas I can add to them. But career is just one part of life. If we neglect the rest of them and put career alone, we are going to be mentally drained. So we need to find a way of ensuring that the rest of these things are also still relatively working. The other option is, so I do sometimes data engineering, I work in my company, expectations are high also, but one thing about it is understanding how to communicate with humans. What I mean is this. There are few things that you know you are very good at. And for AI, there are few things you know AI is also good at. For your managers, they have specific expectations, right? What I try to do is to ensure that I am actually doing things that move the company forward in a way. It may require more effort, especially now, because things are changing very often. So it may require more effort, but I guess if you try to use these things in a way, as I said before, adapting it to what you do. So for instance, if you're a software engineer, there are many things I can bet that your manager don't know about AI. I can bet there are many things they don't know. And if you can show it once or twice that you have an idea that they, again, God is very important. To be honest with you, there are some days, like for instance, I was supposed to come yesterday, I came earlier this morning. They gave me something with Kubernetes and Airflow and HashiCorp votes, and the team was not working. It was just like everything, if you work with cloud and AWS, one thing is breaking in one place. Sometimes I just pray. I know it may not sound normal, but sometimes I just pray that, because they've been on this thing for 1 year before I came. And everybody, we know Kubernetes can be messing up in any place that nobody understands. But one time God just give you the idea, you solve that thing they've been fighting for 1 year, you can relax. Because then everybody will know that, okay, this guy have an idea of what he's saying. So I think in your case, if you are doing software engineering, especially with all the madness happening now, pick a few difficult things, do them, and it gives everybody peace of mind that this guy knows what he's doing. And obviously, I can bet you can use AI for a lot of things. So try to see, I don't know which of them you're doing, but if you can find a way to integrate a lot of things into it, and just try to solve one or two difficult problems, that's the way to relieve pressure. That's what I do. I just solve one, like what I've done now. Next week, if I just come to the office and I'm looking at everybody will be fine. Okay, that guy did something. So that's the way. And also try to balance the rest of them. So the other part of life, try to have fun. I don't know what you do for fun. Also health-wise, like maybe move around or whatever. And family too, good, call friends and family. And so try to also, life is not about career. It's like life has a lot of, if those things are not there, if you don't have friends, you can work and but that's why some of these guys are having, you see some people that are very rich and they still go through depression because they don't balance the rest of them. So one alone is not enough. Did I answer your questions?
Also, sometimes, I mean, I'm currently a researcher, but when I was working, I discovered that sometimes it's, when I was freelancing, it's always good to manage stakeholder expectations.
Yeah.
The reason is because sometimes stakeholders don't know what they want, right? And they are coming to you because they spoke to a friend in conference last week, and the friend is saying, this is what we're using AI to do, and they're coming to you as a software guy, right, who knows everything, right, and they're asking you, give us this within this, and you, on one side, you sometimes the fear of losing your job, sometimes also because of the kind of environment where we are, you're trying to put in double shift, in quote, subconsciously to, kind of prove a point, right? You want to fall into that trap. While the natives, so to speak, will tell the boss that I can't deliver this thing in this number of days you're telling me to deliver it. But because of the kind of culture also we come from, I don't know if you grew up in Nigeria before you came here, where you are told not to where sometimes you are told not to talk back, you just accept things, just go with it. Sometimes some of us cry and crumble under the weight of pressure because we are not able to communicate, and I think this is going back to his point that you have to be able to manage stakeholders. Some of these people just go to conferences and they hear new buzzwords and they want to come to you as the person who is the expert in the company to just implement this thing in 1 week. And you know that it's not possible. So you have to stay this, based on, you give them your fact, of course, and tell them, and that is one way I see that you can, coupled with all of the things that John have already said, because it's very, very important.
Okay,